Welcome to the very first episode, the pilot episode of Tough Conversations with David Wood. I'm super excited about this podcast. Tough conversations for me have changed my life and they continue to. It's about personal growth. It's about success. It's about connection with the world. And I'm on a mission. I'm an evangelist for tough conversations, and it'd be my privilege to be your guide in your life, in your work, for your team or company, to help you lean into those tough conversations, because the gold lies just on the other side of those scary interactions. The tough conversations we haven't had form the boundaries of our world. When we do have those tough conversations, they become the defining moments of our relationships, our career, and our lives. We'll look at tough conversations in your work and career. We'll look at tough conversations for teams and companies, and we'll also look at tough conversations in your own life and your relationships. In future podcasts, you can expect interviews with great guests like Jack Canfield, Byron Katie, top CEOs, and possibly even prison inmates. Plus, occasionally, you'll get a solo episode from me like this one. My first job is to enroll you in how critical and how valuable tough conversations can be. Now, it's natural to avoid them. Of course, they might feel awkward. They might even be a little dangerous. We could risk something like prison, losing our freedom, divorce, losing our job. Definitely, these conversations can be high stakes. But here's what you can get out of a tough conversation. Firstly, a result. All right, you might get someone to stop a certain behavior. You might get them to do what you want. You might get a sale. You might get a promotion. You might get the partner of your dreams. You might get an external result. So that's great, but there are other key benefits. You get to feel self-expressed. You get to feel more connected and invest in your relationship with the other person. And, not a small thing, you get to shift your reality. You actually get to shift it. Whereas before you were thinking, that person's a jerk, or they're never going to change. You get to shift your reality with a tough conversation. Now, what are some examples? What am I talking about here? All right, let's look in the workplace. You need to improve. I need you to modify your behavior in some way. Boss, you're micromanaging me. Hey, I'm ready for a promotion. Or I want to do that project. I'm having problems with a staff member and we need to deal with it. I need help. It could be physical, emotional, logistical, but I need help. I'm not feeling supported. I'm not feeling appreciated. I don't agree. I'm not happy. I screwed up. You screwed up. There are so many great examples when we look at work. What about in relationship, in a romantic relationship? When someone says no, how do you handle a no? I want more sex. I don't want more sex. I'm worried I'm not enough. I want you to change your behavior. I have a confession. Can you see how similar some of these are, except for the sex, how some of these are to the workplace? I'm not happy here. I don't trust you. I'm angry about something. I feel hurt by something. I want an apology. I broke an agreement. You lied or you broke an agreement. Now, how do we do it? I want to leave you guys with how to prep for a conversation and then the 4 steps in having the conversation. So firstly, you really want to download the Tough Conversations worksheet and the 4-step blueprint, which you can get at playforreal.life. Now, to prepare for it, as you go through the worksheet, you'll write down a hope or intention you have for the conversation. If you can't find a hope or intention, why have it? Secondly, you'll write down a fear or concern you have. This is what makes it tough. I'm worried you won't respect me, or you think I'm too sensitive, or you might get angry or defensive. You'll write down a request. You don't want to just complain or dump something on someone. What's a request you could make that might alter the situation? That's a little bit about how to prep for the conversation. Now, actually having the conversation, 4 steps. Number 1, ask permission to have the conversation. This is also where you'll share your hope from the worksheet. It might go something like this. Hey, Jack, Do you have 5 minutes for a potentially awkward yet possibly interesting conversation? My hope is that we'll feel on the same page and work together even better as a team. Step 2, this is where you get to express your fear or concern, and it's an optional step. I notice I've been hesitating about bringing this up because I'm worried you might feel defensive, and that's not my intention. Beautiful. Step 3, share the issue. What is it? Hey, I'm feeling left out of the loop in this project with Japan, and I'd like to feel more included. I wonder if there's a way I can play more. Notice we kind of smuggled in the request there at the end. This is the place where you want to include your request. Can I play more? Can I be on the team? Can I join the meetings? Whatever it is. Now, step 4, super important. Here's where you get curious. You'll listen and negotiate. See, we don't want to deliver a tough monologue. We're not just delivering a message. We're having a tough conversation. So you want to switch from a message delivery stance to a learning stance. And here's where you do it in step 4. Could be something like this. Thanks for hearing me out. Now, I'd really like to hear what you've got to say. How does this land for you? What are your thoughts? Do you have better ideas? And this is where you listen and you work things out together. All right. I'm super excited about this podcast. I'm an evangelist for tough conversations, and it'd be my privilege to be your guide in your life, in your work, for your team or company, to help you lean into those tough conversations, because the gold lies just on the other side of those scary interactions.